Good morning, everyone, from wherever you're at. This is Thursday, May 12th, the year 2022. I'm Jeff from Jeff Needs Sports. This is OTBN365, and this is an easy one. Again, thanks to everybody that's listening. Thanks to everybody that's watching, and thanks for everybody that's participating in the chats. These daily shows are such a, they're such um, constantly growing, moving, alternate organism. There's short prep time, there's short listen time. So everybody that takes a moment of their day to listen and watch this me do my crazy thing, I really, really, really appreciate it. So again, hope everybody's having a good day, and let's continue going into the weekend. So here it is. We're gonna do something a little different today. Instead of my usual recap of what I watched the night before and all that, we've decided to do like an hour and a half deep dive into the Golden State Warriors Memphis game last night. No, I'm just kidding. It was awful. So let's just get this out of the way before we get to the entree, if you will, which was a fantastic NBA basketball game played last night. That wasn't Golden State versus Memphis. Memphis comes out and just absolutely obliterates Golden State Warriors in Memphis last night without Ja Morant. That's important. If you're not, familiar with the story, Ja's out due to injury. They're absolute superstar of a young player. And they came out, they just beat the brakes off of Golden State in every way. They were up by 10 after 1. Then they're up by another, they're up by almost 30, I think, after 2. They're they come out, and then they come out in the third. So not only they score 77 points in the first half of a basketball game against the Golden State Warriors, a good, pretty good basketball team. So what do you think there's going to be? They come out, come out in the second half. You think there's going to be a letdown? Do you think they're going to take their foot off the gas and coast to the finish line? No, they outscore. They outscore the Golden State Warriors 42-17 in the third quarter. It just absolutely blow them off the map last night. Um, it just they were humming. What's really the interesting thing about this game is, and again, I understand it's one game, and of course, they asked Draymond after, and he's like, no big deal. Sure, it's never a big deal. It's never a big deal with this team. They are the worst post-game press conference team in the league right now. They don't give you anything. They dismiss everything. They act like, nothing's a big deal, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And that's fine. They might be right. They might win game 6 and it's over, but still admit that admit that it bothered you a little bit. And it did. This isn't just a fluke game. It did show a sign of weakness. Memphis is, just looks faster, more athletic, and hungrier, if you will, than Golden State does right now. I think Golden State has kind of hit a wall, and I really don't think they have a chance in the Western Conference Finals if they survive the series. So what was cool about this game, like I said, they scored 100 and 142 points, I believe. Sorry, right there. 134 points, right? And this is taking their foot off the gas in the fourth. Their high score was 21 points though, but they had 3 of those. So Jackson, Jones, Bain all have 21 points. So that's when it wasn't some guy going off for 60. This isn't Kobe or LeBron going for 60 against the team. This is a thorough across the board player to player beatdown. Impressive. And it Warriors win game 6, none of it matters, but still great. Memphis crowd was wild last night. I always like to shout out the crowd. Like it makes the game fun. They use the accent, this bright yellow color, the accent towels and all that. All Bears, they look like terrible towels, to put you in mind if you're a football fan. Just a fun crowd, raucous arena. Me and Stuart Brooking, the morning brew with Stu. I did his show yesterday. He's part of the network. Go check his workout. That's the morning brew with Stu, and we talked about it. And he was asking me like, how does Memphis keep Ja Morant? And at the time, I'm like, I'm not sure. Like, we don't know if he'll stay because Memphis just it isn't historically a destination. Okay, after seeing it last night, I totally know why Ja Morant would stay in Memphis. That was a blast. It reminded me of the early days of this Golden State Warriors team. The irony and the juxtaposition here between these two teams is awesome. It is watching that we believe Warriors team from 10 years ago or so. It's really, really fun to see the turning of the page, so to speak. Is so. Other than that, though, game it was just unless you just want to enjoy watching Golden State get the brakes beat off of them. There really wasn't much to see here. Impressive showing by Memphis. So can't wait to see what they do this weekend. All right, let's get on here to what happened last night. There's a lot to unpack, and it's one of those things. Is the NBA playoffs is it is it's to me like it's one of these really long, epic, almost movie trilogy. Like if you ever just sit down and click on Disney Plus and you're like, okay, I'm gonna watch the whole Avengers series and see how it goes. And the that's what the NBA playoffs does to you because you start with the Avengers and you're like, okay, that is a blast. Okay, now I know everybody. I got to know everybody. So that's how the early part of the NBA playoffs are. You're getting to know everybody. You're seeing like, oh, this character's my favorite. I didn't realize this guy was so cool. And then you move on to the next phase and you got like Age of Ultron, and you're like, okay, I see. We're starting to build something. They're bringing in parts. We're seeing what the future is holding here. This is more than just a one off. Now we're invested. Okay, that this guy's my favorite player or favorite character. He's still around and all this. Now you're really in, and then you move on to you go through like Captain America: Civil War and all this. So by the time you get to Avengers Endgame, which is, going to be like our conference finals and NBA finals. You are so invested, you care so much. That's what's happening in the NBA playoffs now. So if you're not, an addict like I am, or the other guys at Outball Network, that's fine. But that's when you're this invested in these games, and when you have these great games, you know these players so well, like you're so familiar with them because you've been living with them, for almost a month now, and it's so that being said, what I'm trying to set up here is this Bucks Celtics series is we're in probably the last quarter of a fantastic movie, and we are so invested. We're sitting on the edge of our seat. We know in the moment how much we're enjoying it. Like that, you ever watch a great movie and you're like, I know how good this movie is. I realize as I'm watching it how much I'm enjoying it. I don't even it does not matter what the ending's going to be. It's going to be good, and I'm going to enjoy this whole experience, and it's going to be one of my favorites ever. That is how this series is right now. We recognize what we're seeing with all these great players. We recognize these moments, and it is just an absolute classic of a series. Let me so what it boils down to, Celtics Bucks playing another great close game. There's so many things to say about the game itself was great, but the last 5 minutes of this game just what some of the best 5 minutes in basketball. It's just as good as it can get. And this is what I was talking about this 10, under 10, 5 minutes. If you're within 10 points, the last 5 minutes of an NBA game, that the point margin, I'm in. Like anything can happen. That's what happened. We come into the fourth quarter, the Celtics are up 9. They look good. I think I'm at like the whole time I'm watching this game, I'm like, Bucks look good. Giannis is doing, his thing. I just think the Bucks have finally run out of answers without Middleton there. I mean, there's no secret about it. He's the missing piece of the puzzle. And I'm like, they finally just kind of hit the wall. And I think the Celtics have figured it out and they're going to win this game. And then, the fourth quarter's back and forth and it's tight and there's big plays. Al Horford, the hero from, Monday night, has a putback that we think ends the game. I believe it put them up, Celtics up 6 or 7 late in the game. I'm like, that's it. That was it. The place erupts, deservedly so. And then a couple things go right. You get a missed shot and a rebound, a big 3 from Jrue Holiday, which we're getting ready to talk about some Jrue Holiday. And the next thing you know, the Bucks are within striking distance. They keep fighting, they keep fighting. They get a putback from Portis, that's classic Bucks. Get tall, get the rebound, keep it alive. Portis gets a great rebound, gets a putback. They go up by 1, and then our world changes. Like we think like, okay, they're up by 1. The Celtics are going to get an end of the game shot, a chance to win this. It's going to be fantastic. We have no idea what's coming. We don't know that we're going to get, and this is not hyperbole here. And yes, I said that wrong. I've never said it right. We get one of the greatest plays in NBA history. This is absolute no doubt about it. Ask any basketball expert. Go watch the highlights. Just watch Jrue block versus Celtics. Set the stage. The Bucks are up 1. The Celtics have plenty of time, to get a good shot off, to win this game. So they go down, they run their offense. Marcus Smart does a great job, to get free on the baseline. He's wide open, gets the ball. He's going up for, and when I say it's going to be an easy layup, it is possibly a slam dunk, but it's definitely going to be an easy layup and probably win this game. And then here comes Batman, there's Superman, whatever you want to call Jrue Holiday last night. Whatever your favorite superhero is that saves the day, here he comes. Jrue Holiday comes in as Smart is going up for a layup. I mean, Smart's a strong, really physical NBA player. As he's going up, the ball's kind of, he starts to reach the ball up in the air over his head. Jrue Holiday jumps up and just rips the ball out of his hands mid-flight. They're both in the air, rips the ball out of his hands. It doesn't knock it out of, doesn't send it out of bounds or anything. He takes the ball. He has control of the ball in the air. He comes down, he realizes he might fall out of bounds, which is going to give the Celtics another shot. No, he doesn't do that. He throws it off, Smart, bounces out of bounds, Bucks ball. They go down, they go down to make their free throws. Now they're up 3 points. This happens, and what's great about this play is that I'm sorry, I know I'm a little loud this morning. It was wonderful. It is just amazing. NBA fans are gonna be talking about this all day, all week. It was crazy. If anybody remembers the LeBron pin against the backboard to save Game 7 in 2016, or they remember Bam, in the bubble a couple years ago, the block. It's like that. But what's great about the play is there's no controversy. There's no asking for a foul. It is clean. That's what makes this play so good. It is so clean and such a great play. There's no doubt about it. Everybody's just like, what just happened? Even the Celtics, Smart, like, I don't know if he thought the ball vanished in midair or what. He was stunned. What a great play. Then, Bucks make their free throws. So then just to top Marcus Smart's day at the beach off, they inbound it. They're going to have a prayer, to tie the game, with a 3-pointer. They inbound it. Smart takes a couple dribbles up the court, and Jrue steals the ball from him and dribbles out the clock. Actually, credit. I don't look the betting lines. Check out the Competitive Hedge podcast on Off the Ball Network for that. But Jrue could have scored. It could have been a 5-point win. He just dribbles it out. He didn't have to. I don't know if that mattered to anybody in Vegas or not. Didn't matter to me. But so Jrue literally has 2 steals from Marcus Smart in the last 10 seconds of this game. It was absolutely fantastic. I'll publicly apologize to Holiday. I was a little hard on him after Monday night, his 5 for 22 game. Whatever you do, man, you do. Like you're that dude. That is your team. You know how to win these games. Whatever you think you need to do, man, because you made a big 3 and you made one of the greatest defensive plays to possibly save your season. This is a toe on the line situation, if anybody remembers last year. So just great. And down, the biggest thing down late, Bucks made their free throws. Giannis had 2 giant free throws to make. Again, if he doesn't make one, the game's probably over. Like they just kept making all this Bucks team just knows how to make all these little plays that add up. It's so great. And and we're talking about, it was the Holiday game because of how he flashed and the huge. Giannis had 40 and 11. Like he's still the engine that drives this thing, and he's just a locomotive out there. It's unbelievable what he's doing. The burden he's taking on in his playoffs. It is so much fun to watch, and to know that we're watching it in real time, that we do not have to go, have revisionist history and be like, wow, I didn't realize what a great, we know as he's doing it, what a great playoff run Giannis is having. You want to talk about Embiid last night. I'll just say it, whining about the MVP or blah, blah, mumbling through that after having 17, after this dude has 17 points and a blowout loss to Miami, and he's whining about somebody else winning the MVP. He needs to not say anything while Giannis is even on the playing basketball. I'm sorry, they're in Giannis in a different stratosphere right now than almost everybody else in the NBA. And it is awesome to see, and I cannot wait. I cannot wait to see how this series ends because Boston played good. They did not fail. They did not show weakness. They made a couple of mistakes, but most of them, they just kind of got out hustled a few times, and that was it. It could have went either way, just like the win they had the other night could have went either way. This is unbelievable what we're seeing. So I know I went on and on about that, but it was that good. Really fun time. Cannot wait to see what the weekend beholds for these 2 teams. So, oh yeah, so that's that great NBA night. It's a lot having a lot of fun right now. And I would recommend anybody just go check out the highlights of that game. If you didn't watch the game, that's totally cool. But man, go check out the highlights. Um, NHL update. A friend of mine, kind of shout out to Stush, inspiration for the show. Loves my NHL updates. Again, I actually watched a little bit. When I got home last night and had time to, I started watching some of the hockey game, but I just had so many things to do to prep for the show and the NBA games coming on and everything. So I did. I watched like 3 minutes of hockey last night. Here's what I tell you: there were three game fives last night, and there's three series that are uh, the that are 3-2. So there's three game sixes coming up. So three elimination games. It's unbelievable. And this is just the first round of hockey. Like I don't know how the hockey fans do it. This has got to wear you out. Unbelievable. What's going on? They're good. The NHL playoffs are just fantastic. It's like I talk about the Bucks and Celtics. I mean, the hockey gets 3, 4 of these series every year. It's cool. And man, I had no idea the animosity that hockey fans drum up against whoever they play in the playoffs is like their bitter rival. Man, they go back and forth on my Twitter feed, and I'm like, I had no idea the Wild and the Blues despised each other so much. I love it, man. Talk about what a passionate fan base. Whew. It's been awesome. So, real quick thing I want to leave. I'm going to put this. I'm going to put this on my Twitter at jhunt006. I thought of it. A guy that works with us at the Off the Ball Network, Say It Out Loud Sports, and he had a discussion. Basically, what happened was he actually had a discussion on Twitter about about basketball that wasn't about like LeBron or Steph or any of that. It was about he was talking about Booker, people being hard on Devin Booker and saying he's overrated and things like that. And he was right, to take umbrage with it because that is ridiculous. And it made me think, wait a minute. And I said, I regard the argument was crazy, but I'm glad that people care about Devin Booker. I'm glad that we can actually have some discourse about something other, than LeBron James or Steph Curry, or Kevin Durant. Like I think that's great that people care that much about the younger. So here was my question that I posed is that have NBA fans or just sports fans in general, anybody that discusses the NBA, have we finally moved on from LeBron James versus Jordan debate? Because I'm telling you, for the last 6 years on Twitter, I don't care what the conversation started, it wound up with LeBron versus Jordan, and it's tiring. I mean, that was all that we could come up with constantly, day in and day out, or even in public in the real world. It was just tiring. So now, like I see this, like we had a great little thing about Giannis versus Shaq, or somebody wants to talk about, oh man, it's a lot of talk about is Tatum the next superstar, but we're talking about the 20 somethings. This is great. We're talking about, we had a discussion about Ja Morant staying in Memphis. We have a discussions about all these great things, have discussions, we're talking about Embiid and Jokic for MVP, like that debate where these are the debates now. And I'm like, is there a chance that we finally moved on from this cloud that's hung over, NBA discourse for over, a decade now with LeBron and Jordan? So you tell me, it might still be a thing. It might not still be a thing, but I think that we finally just like, okay, LeBron's a great, one of the, he's in the champagne room of greats, and obviously Jordan's the GOAT. And we might just be able to just be done with that and just move on and accept both. So I hope so. So that was my question for the week. I'll put the poll up on Twitter again at jhunt006. We'll have it on at the Ball Network. Twitter too. Please go and vote, comment. I'm going to run it all weekend. You guys may not hear me again till Monday morning. We got some good guys taking over the show though. I believe I'm pretty sure that Up in Flames, Mo Murphy is going to do a couple. And he's way better than I am. You'll probably never want to listen to my show again. Mo kills it I mean, Mo's like just one of those MCs. Like he just walks up to the mic and and when he's done, nobody else. Yeah, he Papa Docs you. If you know what I'm talking about, he just Papa Docs you. I don't even want to do the show like for the next 2 days after Mo's done one because he sets the bar so high at Off the Ball Network. He calls me vice president 1A and 1B, but it's not. If anything, he's 1A because Mo does a great job. So enjoy that over the next few days. I will see you guys again Monday. Again, I will be on social media. I'll be everywhere. You can get a hold of me. So I'm not going away. I'm just me and my wife taking a little trip, gonna have a little fun this weekend, play some disc golf. I'll have a disc golf show probably next week. Yeah, yeah, that's all I need to just look at. If you haven't played disc golf, look it up and go play it. Talk a lot about disc golf next week, and we'll talk about I'll catch up with what I missed in the NBA finals and definitely hockey. We're actually going to be in the round 2 of the hockey the next time you hear me, so it's going to be exciting. I think. I don't know. And again, thanks everybody. Check out offtheballnetwork.com. The site looks great now. Kenneth and Chris did a great job over there. I'm Jeff from Jeff Needs Sports. Have a great weekend, and I'm out.